Hello, 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 everyone. How are you tonight? Can you hear me? Can you see me? It was a rough day, folks. Rough day, folks. Really rough day. It was a good day. It was more or less a rough afternoon. Hi, Linda. Hi, Aurora. Hi, Dorothy and Ruthie and Angie. I always feel like Miss Peggy on Robert Brown, I see KJ and Aurora and, Beth and blah, blah, blah. Hi, Anna Marie. For those of you who are new here, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way in. That helps with our algorithms. Hi, Virginia. So, everyone, okay, good. You can see and hear me. Great. I'm trying something new. I have two monitors going tonight. And so I'll be going back and forth, back and forth. If you see my head turn, I'm looking at something on this monitor, and et cetera, et cetera. How is everyone? You know, oh, it has an echo in the voice a little. Okay, let's see this. Let's see if we can fix it. Okay, is this better? Is it less echoey? Hi, Virginia. I don't know how to fix the graining with these dual monitors, so sorry on that. Really pixelated, and there's a weird echo in the background. Okay, let's do something. Just be patient with me. We are going to do this. Gotta figure out where the stop mirroring button is. So just give me a moment. Okay. There is a okay. Use as stop mirroring. Okay. Yeah, it's International Whiskey Day. It should be. How is this? Is this better? I sound like talking in a tin can. Is this better? We had some really, really bad storms that went through earlier. And there we go. We had some bad storms that went through about an hour or so ago. I wasn't even sure if they'd be over in time for me to do my live. It was pretty wicked. Um, the wind was so bad that I really thought we were going to lose some trees in my neighbor's yard. I mean, I don't know how they're still standing. The wind was that ferocious. And then when the rain came through, I swear to you, sitting here in my office looking out my window, it was being in one of those drive-through automatic car washes. Seriously. And pea-sized hail and all sorts of really, really fun things. So, but it didn't last very long. So that made me very, very happy. Oh, good. I'm glad this is better. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's the Wi-Fi. It's being a little hard-headed tonight, and I don't. I think it was from the storms. Is am I pixelated for everyone else? Yeah, I stopped the dual monitor, Aurora. That is gone. Is it still pixelated and freezing? Let me know. Put it in the chat. There's such a delay on the chat, and it really. Oh, good, Holly. Thank you. Could be the fibers you have issues with and the weather. Yeah, fuzzy. Well, just don't know what to tell y'all. I have cleaned my little camera. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really sorry. But I'm pixelated. Okay. Well, at least we're not freezing, right? Oh, your settings at 360 dp. Okay. I don't know what setting are. I really don't. When I try to hide the HD, the full HD with this StreamYard, it wants me to pay extra. And I'm sorry, no, I'm paying enough for it as it is. Okay, who had a great writing day? Who got to write today? Anyone? Anyone? Show of hands. Show of hands who got to write today. Anyone? 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 Oh, yay, Christina got to write. Who else? Who got to write today? Oh, you wrote in your head? Well, that counts. That counts, KJ. Anybody else get some words in? Aurora did. Oh, Diana cleaned. That was one of the reasons I wasn't on last night. I was just exhausted. Truly, totally, 100% exhausted. I lay down at 5:15, 5:30, and I didn't. Took a nap and didn't get up till 7:45. So I was exhausted. Um, I had spent the last, oh gosh, 10 days spring cleaning and preparing for my granddaughter's birthday party. Saturday, it was Saturday. Um, it was amazing. We had like, oh gosh, a dozen, 14 little girls running around my house. And they were all just absolutely adorable. It was a Wednesday Adams themed party. No, my little granddaughters are not allowed to watch the TV show, but they are absolutely addicted. The only thing they've seen is the YouTube dance. That's all they've seen is the YouTube dance, and they're absolutely fascinated with it. They love to do the Wednesday dance. Um, anyway, and there was no time to recover from that party because I had to get the house back in order. And then I thought, okay, I could just take a day and put my feet up. No, there was more stuff to do. And then the next day I thought, oh, I'll put my feet up. Nope, we have to go get groceries. That was Monday. And that was an all day affair because, Costco and Kroger and wherever else. And just run, 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 run. So by the time yesterday afternoon hit, it's like I can't. I have got to sleep. I'm just exhausted. So that's why I wasn't on last night. So I apologize. But this is for anyone who got to write today. Congratulations to you all. Yes, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Oh, it gave you nightmares. So, okay. So, what we're going to talk about tonight is chapters. Sounds simple, sounds easy. It's just a chapter, right? Let's do a swoop. Let's do a swoop. Okay, chapters. What is a chapter? Um, Chapters are just little sections of the entire story. We all know that. Okay. But each chapter needs to propel your story and your characters forward toward the end goal, which is the end of the book, right? So I've put together where to go, where to go. There are 6 key plot points in your entire novel, right? So does everybody have a notebook and a pen to take notes? If I get to, I will put this up on my YouTube channel yet later. I'm not quite done with it. It's just been busy, busy, busy. So the 6 key vitally important plot points in any novel are: number one, or A, B, C, D, or just these are the plot points in no particular. Well, I guess there is no order. So, an inciting incident, your first plot point, a pinch point, a midpoint, another pinch point, and a climax. Let's see if we can share the screen so you can see my notes. Nope, nope, nope. It is not going to let me do that. That's why I was trying to do the double monitors so that I could pull these things up. So the 6 key plot points in any novel are inciting incident, the first plot point, a pinch point, a midpoint, which is basically the middle of your book, another pinch point, and your climax. So you have the beginning and the exciting middle, and then maybe another pinch point, and then your climax, right? So you want this natural, there could be little ebbs and flows, little dips and valleys. That's okay, right? But you want it to look like that, right? You want it to propel forward. If at any time you all have questions, please put them in the chat. Good for you, Ruthie. Ruthie wrote 3 days last week. Good for you. So you want each of your chapters to create elements or plot points that propel your story and your characters forward, right? You don't want to get bogged down in minutia, okay? You want to be propelling forward, moving forward. That is always your goal, is to move the story forward. Now, your characters can have setbacks. That's perfectly acceptable, and that's often a good idea, right? But your goal always keep that story moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. There aren't necessarily any rules per se to chapters, other than, again, you're propelling forward. So I'm telling you, they could be as long or as short as you need them to be. In one of my books, I think it was even my very first book, I had one old chapter which was just Isabel's point of view, and it was maybe 4 or 5 paragraphs long. That was it. But they were very important to me, 4 or 5 paragraphs. And I didn't want to, they just couldn't go anywhere else. It had to stand on its very own. Okay. I've had some chapters that if you were, on your Kindle, you would just maybe swipe a couple times, and chapters that are multiple pages long. Okay. If anyone ever tells you that each chapter should have at least X number of words or can't go over X number of words, they're full of BS. Okay? That's just BS. Every chapter will be as long as it needs to be. Now, you write a huge chapter and then realize later that you need to break it up. Yes, you could do that. That's perfectly acceptable. Okay? We're talking about the end result, the published. Okay, when we go to publish, this is what it needs to look like, right? So don't let anybody tell you that there are rules to chapter writing when it comes to word count, a minimum or a maximum. That's just BS, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Now, do you want your chapter to be 3 pages long? Swoop, 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 swoop. No, you don't want to do that. Okay. But as you're reading along and you realize that, sorry, and you realize that maybe it's too big, read it and decide, look at those scene breaks that you already have in that chapter and see if you can't start a new chapter with one of those scenes. Okay. Good, KJ. That's right. There's no minimum, there's no maximum. Whoops. Trying to put on some hand cream. I love it. So that is true. Now, hang on. Let's talk about first chapters because I think first chapters are really, really important. We're going to swoop. And now we're talking about the very first chapter of your book. And we have talked about this frequently, right? But it never hurts to go over it again. Um, in your first chapter, you want to set the scene basically for the entire novel, right? You need to let the reader know um, who the main character is, what genre this is, and you do that by setting the scene. Contemporary is really easy. Uh, just a few descriptors to let people know this is, Regency, or this is a Western, or this is Scout historical, or what have you. You do that in the first scene, in the first chapter. So your first plot point, your first chapter, it can be an inciting incident. Think like a kidnapping. Someone's just been kidnapped, or the process of a kidnapping, or they've just found a secret passage in an old mansion, or they just found an old letter in a footlocker that leads them to a mystery of some sort. Someone's placing a bomb somewhere, a plane's getting ready to crash, someone's on their deathbed leaving a farewell message that leads to another mystery, right? So your first chapter needs to let your reader know what is happening, or what could happen, or is about to happen, right? So that first chapter is always vital, 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 vital. Okay. You want to keep the reader engaged, and you want to keep them turning the pages. Okay. So Diana asks, how many chapters should be in a book, minimum and maximum? She says she read a book with 100 chapters and that was hard to get through. Atlantis Gene is long. Okay. Some of my books have been as long as 60 chapters, and that includes the prologue and the epilogue. Okay. It depends on your genre. Lots of things are genre driven. Okay. Scene setting is genre driven. Pretty much everything is genre driven. Okay. Historical romance readers love really big books, unless it's Regency, and they tend to like the 70 to 80,000 word books. I never talk about page count. Page count means absolutely nothing to me. Doesn't mean a damn thing. So I always talk in terms of word count, right? We should have swooped. I need to learn that. Shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts for swooping. Um, so, and genre driven, story driven. Um, it depends. Are you writing a novella, a short story? You writing a big book? Are you writing contemporary? Are you writing Regency? Are you writing a Western? Are you writing sci-fi? It's all genre driven. What works for one genre is not going to work for another genre, right? And I know that's like a vague answer, but it really does depend on the genre and the story itself. Okay. We're going to swoop again because we have a new question. Rora says, I heard your first page or first pages is to be your hook to grab the reader and draw them in. Exactly. The first sentence, the first two sentences. Okay. Vitally, vitally, vitally important. You need to grab them on that first page, right? Those first few sentences, or those first few paragraphs. You need to grab that reader and give them a reason to keep turning the pages, right? Hi, Aaron Black. So that's about pages and etc. Okay. So, There are things that do belong in a chapter, okay? Um, you want to end each chapter with a cliffhanger or a change in the story, like a plot twist, like a surprise no one was expecting, a promise, or resolution. So for the promise, um, basically it could be anything. The promise could be anything. The cliffhanger could be anything. The change in your story, that surprise could be anything, or there can be a resolution. Now, is it a resolution to the entire story? No. Okay, unless it's the last chapter of the book. Okay, but it could be that you're in the first, first few chapters. We learned what your protagonist, what his or her conflict was, um, with maybe a specific person, and they've come to resolve that problem. Okay, so you want them to end on a more or less exciting note, right? A happy note, an exciting note. Um, I've ended some chapters, and again, genre driven, depends on the story, um, with a death that had my readers bawling their eyes out. Okay. Um, what is a plot point? Let's talk about that. Let's swoop. Because I think some people have a hard time with plot points, understanding exactly what those are. Okay. So a plot point, it's a key moment in your story that relates specifically to your protagonist or your antagonist and their particular situation or journey, what have you. Okay. That's a plot point. It could be the moment when you let the reader know what your protagonist is afraid of. What is his goal? What does she want out of life? Or your antagonist, what is pulling forward? What are their goals? What do they want? What do they need? What motivates them? Right? So that is what a plot point is. I gotta look and see if there's new. Um, oh, KJ says her first chapter currently starts with ugh. I like it. Um, there once was an AI named whose body was shaped like an insert funny line here. Oh, you're too funny. Okay. The first sentence that hooked me on a whole series, I've never worked for a dead man before, and I hope I never have to again. Oh my God. See, that right there. One sentence, the first sentence, and you are hooked. With a sentence like that, you're hooked. I'm hooked. I want to know what the book is. Okay? I want to know what this story is about. So tell me, Holly, what book is this from? Okay. And it says, my favorite first liner, Isabel McKenna had 100 things to do today. Killing someone wasn't one of them. I love it. Great way to draw readers in. Okay. You want to draw them in. That very first sentence or two needs to be terrifying or exciting or hilarious or, just it's got to grab the reader. Okay. I love both of these examples. Thank you, Holly, and thank you, Diana. I do appreciate that. Okay. So, things you need to keep in mind when you're writing any chapter, the beginning chapter, the middle 15 chapters, the end chapter. These are things that you need to keep in mind when you're writing any of your chapters. What does your character want? What motivates them? This is for your protagonist and your antagonist. Okay, your bad guy, your good guy. Your reader needs to know what motivates the hero or the bad guy. Okay? They need to know why they're doing what they're doing. Do not do an info dump. Remember, we layer thoughtfully throughout the entire book. You need to keep in mind what that character is afraid of. What do they want most? Is their end goal? What is it that particular character or characters want? You need to set the scene in every chapter. Okay, you really truly do. Um, Again, genre driven, historical readers love really beautiful, flowery, not necessarily flowery, but descriptive. They want to be set down in that scene. Okay. Contemporary novels are a little bit different. You can set that scene, but you don't have to use quite so many words, right? Is this making sense? Okay. So set the scene. What season are we in? I always think that I want to know what time of year it is. I really do. That, as a reader, to me, is very important. Okay. I want to know where we're at and what it's like. Is it hotter than the hubs of hell? Is it colder than a witch's butt in Alaska? Right? Is it raining? Is it sunny? Is it a spring day? Is it Halloween time? Easter time? Christmas time? You can do that in a sentence or two, right? Immerse your reader in the scene, in that chapter. Let them know where they're at, what time of year it is, um, what time of day is it? Are there any secondary characters that are vital to the story? Are there other people in the background, right? Like, are you in a crowded cafe and you can hear the soft murmuring of the people around you? Um, what kind of tension, if any, is going on around your characters, right? Are they in the middle of a bank robbery? Have they been kidnapped by the enemies if you're writing a military romance or just a military novel, right? You have to set that scene. You have to let your readers know where we're at and what is going on. Um, when you're writing your chapters, you need to ask yourself with this chapter, what do I want to accomplish, right? Do you want your character to have their aha moment? Like, oh, now it makes sense for the character. Okay. Do you want this chapter to reveal a little more information to your reader that explains why your character is doing what they're doing? Right? Um, do you want the character to be in doubt of someone or something? How do you want to propel your character or characters forward? Okay. Um, you need to ask yourself these questions when you're writing that chapter. Okay, you just finished like chapter 5. What's going to happen in chapter 6? Right? Those are important questions. Um, what is the conflict or obstruction for your character? You do not have to mention that conflict or obstruction in every single chapter, but you do have to mention it. Okay. Um, you've got to remind your readers why your character is here. Just a little bit. Okay. Why are they in the middle of the desert? Why are they in downtown Burbank? Why are they how did they end up here? Okay. What is their conflict? What is their obstruction to keep them from moving forward like they want to? Okay. And how do you want that chapter to end? Keep in mind, how do you want this chapter to end when you're done with it? Do you want it to be a cliffhanger? I always love chapter cliffhangers. That makes me happy. A plot twist or a story change, a resolution, or an understanding for your character. So those are the main 5 things you need to keep in mind when you are writing your chapters. Okay? Now for some of us, it just comes naturally. Um, and for others, we really have to think about it. But I know how I want my chapter to begin and end, and usually I know the middle. But sometimes, as I'm reading, I forget what my goal was for that chapter, and so I have to go back and reread it, make sure it makes sense, make sure all my points are in that chapter. If they are, great. If they're not, I have to go back and add them. Okay, is all of this making sense? So those, I believe, those are my key things when writing a chapter. Okay. Uh, Diana says, middle of the desert, burying a body in Burbank on vacay. I don't know why the hell anybody go to Burbank for vacation, but what do I know? I'm just being a smartass, Diana. Linda says, what happens if chapter 6? Heck if I know. I'm waiting for my character to tell me what's going on. I'm just writing up the incident report. Exactly. That's how a lot of us write. That's how a lot of them write. Dinah says, sit them down in your brain, Linda, and tell them to talk or else. Yeah, I've done that. When I've hit like I don't know where I'm supposed to go next, when I have one of those moments, it's like, okay, guys, I close my eyes and I sit back and it's like I need to just listen. They will eventually talk and they will eventually tell me what I need to do and what's going on. So, what questions do you all have? I'm sorry, I was looking out the window. Finally, when that wind died down. I'm telling you, that was scary earlier. I have a question for y'all. Let's see if I can do this. My question is, why do my glasses get dirty? No, that's not my question. My question is, who has a current work in progress? Who has current WIP? And how many words are you into it? Are you? And how many words do you want it to be when you're done? That's my questions. Current work in progress. How many words in have you written so far? And what is your ending word count goal? Okay. Aaron, I really love San Diego myself. Oh, no, I don't have a cat, Diana, but thank you. No, no pets. I have dust bunnies. Oh, great, Aaron. Okay, 20K in, need a minimum of 60. Okay, what genre is that, Linda? I'm going to assume that's some kind of contemporary or it's a novella. I should have asked those questions too. What's the genre? Is it a novella or a full length novel? Ruthie has quite a few works in progress. Um, Aaron, and I know Aaron. Aaron, you've been in Discord, haven't you? I miss being in Discord every day, writing with all of you ladies. Oh my gosh! But I tell you, the last 2 weeks have just been absolutely insane. Just so after tonight's, there will be no live tomorrow night because after tonight's show, I'm going to complete until the lockdown. Um, I've warned my family, don't call, don't text, don't visit unless someone has passed away, given birth, or hit the lottery. Now, I had to be really specific about the lottery. Don't call me to tell me you won $2. Okay. Call me to tell me you won $2 million. I'll take that phone call. Okay. Um, oh, Western historical romance. There you go. I love you, Linda. I really do. That says I have like 3 or 4 One of them is 25K right now, but I had a goal of 50 or higher in mind for it, but got stuck on it. Others I started and then stopped. Been there, done that, have the t-shirt. KJ says, I have a WIP currently at 5K. Will probably be 100. Genre is urban fantasy. I love urban fantasy. I really do. Holly says, so far 88K and aiming for 120K for steampunk with vampires. I love it. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, well, I'm glad I missed. I really am. Uh, Ruthie says, the one that calls to me most, I have 57,670 words. Good for you. And it's a contemporary. Awesome. Okay. Tish says, 3 on the go. My current focus is a 30 chapter book, and I have about 14 chapters either written or drafted. It's a how to book. Okay. How to books, I don't write how to's unless it's how to drive your husband crazy, and then it would be a really short book because there are 3 ways to keep your husband either crazy happy, um, and you all know what that is: food, sex, money. If you ain't feeding him, yeah, better be working and bringing him some money. And if you can't do either of those 2 things, never mind. That's probably gonna. Don't come at me. I'm almost 60. Oh, well, that's good, Tish. That's really good. It's a book about writing. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So who has a goal? Show of hands on your current work in progress. Today is Thursday. Ask yourselves, how many words do I want to have written between now, today, and next Wednesday night? And put it in the chat. Okay. And for anyone who makes their goal or passes their goal, I don't know. I can't take y'all out for coffee. I'll think of something. It could be just a congratulations. 7K. 7K in a week. Totally doable. Totally doable. 15K. Completely doable. It's called 1 Million Stars, One Wish at 24 chapters. I don't know how many words, but want 2 or 3 chapters left. Okay. Quit editing and write the story, Aurora. Just write the book. Just write the book. 5,000 words by Wednesday. That's a good goal, Holly. That's totally doable. See, everybody's goals are different because everybody has different times that they can write. They only have much time that they can, some of us only have 30 minutes a day to write, and that's okay. They write in chunks. Some of us might have 2 or 3 hours. Some of us might have all day. Now, here's my personal problem. I have learned over the years that when I have all day long to get something done, I get nothing done because I keep thinking to myself, oh, I got a few more hours before that has to be done. I got 6 hours. I got 12 hours. I got 2 hours. Oh my God, it's time for bed and I didn't get anything done today. Who else has that problem? When I had a full-time job, man, I wrote like crazy. Like the hounds of hell were nipping at my feet, right? Just boom, all the time. Every morning, up at 3:30 every morning to write until I went to work. So I'd write from like 3:30 to 7 and then, do my shower, hair, and makeup. I wrote on my lunch break. I wrote after dinner. I wrote all weekend long. But now I have all freaking day long to write. And some days I'm just too busy doing other stuff or I'm too exhausted from all the other stuff I did. Who else has that problem? I am deadline oriented too, but lately that's just not enough. And I don't know what the heck it is. I thought about volunteering at the hospital to go rock babies in the NICU or whatever. And like know that I have to be there every Tuesday and Thursday from, I don't know, 1 to 3 to rock babies, right? And I think if I had something like that, not a real day job because I couldn't work for anyone else. Oh my God, I would get fired. I would. I would just get fired on the first day going, really? Do you know who I am? I really, really don't think I want to do that. So, so I'm really seriously considering volunteering at a local hospital just so that I have a reason to get out of the house a couple times a week. And babies need watch. There's so many babies in the hospital whose parents have to work or what, take care of other kids at home. Um, so I just thought if I added something like that into my weekly routine, I might get that desperation back to, oh shit, I gotta have this done. I only have so much time to write. Ruthie says, when I began this journey, I was told from professional writers that it takes 6 months to finish a book, including the research. Well, it depends on what the book is, right? Depends on what the genre is. What's the book about? I don't research every book I write. I researched Scottish historical stuff once, and it stayed in my brain. Now, sometimes if I've fast forwarded 50 years or 100 years, yeah, I need to do some more research, like who the current king and how many, wives did he have? How many um, children did they have? Or how many illegitimate children did he have? Um, oh, that's okay, Ashley. Uh, Historical, then she was writing. Okay. Oh, okay. So it was historical. Well, I wrote McKenna's Honor in 3 weeks, right? Um, I wrote Finley's Last in like 2 or 3 months. Okay, each book has been different. Frederick King was hard to write, um, for lots of different reasons. It was hard to write, and I think Uncle Fred passed away. That's who the main character was modeled after, was my Uncle Fred. And he passed away before it published. So that was a little hard. Um, Kaylin's wife was also difficult because I lost my mother when I started writing that story. And that's why I released it in 3 parts. And some people loved it, some people hated it, and that's okay. Um, I wrote Ian's Rose in the NICU at St. Francis Hospital when Malaya was born. So it's different. Each book is different. Some you can write in just a few weeks. Others might take 6 months. Okay, and that's okay. That is really okay. Deadlines do help. Yeah, see the problem is my deadlines are too flexible because I'm a great boss to work for. It's like, Susan, you look sleepy. Why, yes, I am sleepy. Well, maybe you should lay down and take a nap. I think that's a fine idea. Have you heard no objections? I shall take a nap. That's the kind of boss I am. Bryant's having a sale on bras. Let's go. That's the kind of boss I am. Yeah. So deadlines are really important if you are a good boss. If you're a sucky boss like me who says, let's just sit back and drink coffee and watch the Letitia Stout trial or listen to Lori Vallow trial or whatever. Yeah. Maybe I need a co-author who's a taskmaster, Holly. Maybe that's what I need is someone to co-author a book with me. I know who I'd want. Yeah, once you've done the research for that job, it very seldom changes unless, like you have a new king or a new president or new ruler or whatever. Okay. And then you have fantasy novels. Um, do I remember what my word count was? No, and it ended up being a novella, actually, but printed, it's about this thick. It's McKenna's Honor. I don't know, but I know I wrote it in 3 weeks, and I wrote like gangbusters. I think I've taken a couple days off, but that was who knows what that was for. but it wasn't a big book. Yeah, the LV trial is bananas. It is. The Lori Vallow trial is bananas. The Letitia Stout trial, I just want to reach through the screen and bitch slap her. But that's another topic for another time, and I didn't swoop on that. Yeah, I have some fantasy novels that I'd like to write. Okay, because to me, writing fantasy, you can do whatever the hell you want. You don't have to worry about getting the historical accuracies correct, right? You don't have to worry about who was king or who was emperor or whatever. However, world building can be very, very difficult and it can take a lot of time. And if you want to be really good at writing fantasy, sci-fi, paranormal, anything like that, you have got to keep track of everything. You do. You just have to have your book Bibles. Um, you need to keep everything in some kind of order. And again, it's all, like in fantasy, for instance, if you have fairies, well, where do the fairies live? How do the fairies live? Are they little tiny fairies? Are they big fairies? Do you have swamp monsters? Do you have giants? Where do they live? I mean, you have got to keep track of everything. Tish says, I'm in Canada. Where do you find YouTube, honey? YouTube. YouTube, Tish. Um, oh my God, you all are my muses. Well, thank you, Jerry. Welcome. The Bible also helps the editor. Exactly. um, MT says world creation is fun. And yes, it is. It's very fun. And, my books are totally fiction. The only thing I pay attention to who might be king and what the political kind of feeling was for the time. But all my clans, I use real clan names, but it's all made up. Linda says I write fantasy under a pen name, but I also use established myth in world building. Yes, I did that in The Echo of a Kiss. That was just a little novella. I love that book. I want to use it to spin off an entire series. I think part of my problem also is I have too many damn books that I want to write. Okay, I just have too many. I guess I have too many. I shouldn't say that. I'd rather have 1,000 books that I want to write instead of sitting here going, what should I write next? Yeah, the Idaho News YouTube channel shares the recordings of the Lori Vallow trial. So does Crime Talk with Scott Reich. And he edits out all the breaks and everything. So follow Scott Reich. It's called Crime Talk on YouTube. And the East Idaho News. I like Scott because he doesn't, while the trial's going on, it's just the trial. He doesn't do any commentary or anything. Oh, that's cool. Just says it's hybrid of my maiden name McClellan and my married name Weber. Oh, I like that. That's cool. Holly says she was a dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons for 15 years. See, when I first saw the word dungeon master, that is not where my mind went. And please don't ask me where my mind went. I've always wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, but I've never have. Biggest question from Jerry. How do I start? Jerry, this is how you start. If you don't have a laptop, grab a notebook, grab a pen or a pencil. I like to write in pencil. I do. It's my favorite thing. And just start writing. Okay? If a laptop, just open up a Word document. I personally hate Word. It's like the bane of my entire existence, and I will not use it. I use Scrivener. But When you're first starting out, you use the tools that you have. So you sit your butt in the chair in front of your computer and you use Word or whatever, word processing program that you have, and you just write. It can be notes, it can be sentences, it can be plotting, it can be whatever you want or need it to be. Okay? But just sit down in the chair and start writing. You start with one sentence and you see where that takes you. Okay? Your first draft, Jerry, will suck. Everybody's first draft sucks. Everybody's. I don't care who you are, unless you're maybe Nora Roberts, because she couldn't write a sucky book if she tried, because she is Nora. Anyway, just sit down and write. That's all I can tell you, honey, is just sit down and write. Don't worry about word count and chapters and sentence structure and all of that. Just don't worry about it. Just trust me. When you sit down and you just start writing the words, okay, just listen to what's in your head and just start writing it down. It'll take, the rest will take care of itself, okay? I hope that helped. I hope that answered your question, honey. Let's see. I've gotten hooked on Emily D. Baker for legal commentary, and D&D RP games are amazing for learning to be creative. I love Emily D. Baker. I do. I have one of her cups. I have questions. I have both lived on the border for over 60 years, seen a lot, survived a lot. Then just start writing it, honey. That's all you could do. Yeah, don't get discouraged. Just write. I feel stories of women's survival is in my heart. Then go for it. Just start writing. That's all you can do. Yeah, Discord can really help with the just writing. Marilyn asks, how do you select your book titles? I don't know, Marilyn. It's either Insanity or it's Divine Intervention. Not quite sure. There for a while, I started with Layden's Daughter, Findley's Lass, Wee William's Woman, McKenna's Honor, Rowan's Lady, Frederick's Queen. You see how it was all themed, even though those were two different series. They were all themed. And then we had Kaylin's Wife. And then I wrote a bunch of novellas, short stories. And then I went to Stealing Moira's Heart, Saving Moira's Heart, Richard's Heart, Lachlan's Heart. I'm on this heart kick lately, and I don't know why. But I usually have the title before I even start writing the book. Don't ask me why. But I have a book. Yeah, I often have the title before I start writing the actual novel. Oh, that's cool, Tish. You're welcome, Jerry. An author choice for draft is the vomit draft. You just spew it out, then you clean up the mess. Exactly. And then once you get several novels in, then it's not vomit anymore, right? Because that needs to be your goal, that every book is better and better and better than the last one you just published. Okay, that needs to be your goal. Okay, each book needs to be better than the one you just published. And by better, I mean writing wise, creativity wise. You don't want to keep regurgitating the same story over and over again. But mainly the writing needs to get better. Okay, and that is always my personal goal with each and every book, is that the writing needs to be better. I just have to get better with the writing, and I think I do okay with that. Yeah, I just love having a title first. My latest title, the 1 Million Stars, One Wish, came from a Bath and Body Works body spray. There you go. There you go. It could come from anywhere. Inspiration, titles, stories, it can all come from just about anywhere. So I hope that answered your questions. I hope that helped, Marilyn. It could come from anywhere, just anywhere. So because I write Scottish historicals, there tends to be a theme, but I realized a few years ago, a lot of other authors in my genre, they have things in their title like, Highlander's Heart, um, anything to do with the Scottish Highlands or clans or whatever. They have specific words in their titles or their subtitles, and I have never ever done that. All my subtitles are Book one of the Macintoshes and McLaren, Book two of the Macintoshes and McLarens, Book three. Um, I have never once put a Highlander or a Thistle or a Plaid or Tartan or anything like that in any of my titles or my subtitles. I don't know why. I just never thought of it. I just thought to do that. But lots of my fellow Scottish historical authors do. And I think that's cool. But I don't know why I didn't. I probably didn't even think about it because in the beginning I didn't have a clue what I was doing. What is the measure of better? That's a really good question, Susan Joy Regan. Yes, to both. The writing needs to be better. You need to get better at your character development, your scene setting, which is descriptions of what's going on, around your characters. Um, Choosing new words, right? Instead of a robin's egg blue sky, let's try azure sky, right? Or yeah, new ways of describing like blue eyes, or green eyes, or brown eyes, or gold eyes. Just new ways, new words. Make the thesaurus your very best friend in the whole wide world. Love, love, love the thesaurus in Scrivener. Fabulous. Um, just get better with all of those things. One of the new things I've added to my character sketches is their love language, right? Um, how do they show love and how do they want to receive love, right? I know that sounds really simple, but I think it makes for a deeper character. I really do. Oh, impish grin to roguish. I think I misspelled it. That's okay, Ruthie. Yeah. Impish grin to roguish. Yes. Um, yep. Let's see. You're welcome, Marilyn. And I hope that answered your question, Susan. I really do. I hope that helped. Um, because again, in the beginning of my career, I didn't have a flipping clue what I was doing. Not a flipping clue. I didn't have an editor or a final proofer or a cover artist when I published my first novel. And it just went gangbusters. It did. Do you make character profiles? Yes. Angie G in Scrivener, they have character profiles basically, and you add all sorts of information in there. You can even change the character sheet itself. You need to know more about your character than just, how tall are they, what color hair, what color eyes. You need to know more than that. Your readers definitely want to know more than that. You need to know what motivates them, what terrifies them, what are their goals, um, love language, their past history. What does their family tree look like? Were they orphaned at birth? Or just 15 sisters and he's the only boy? That type of thing. You need to let your reader know gradually throughout the story and info dumps what makes that particular character tick. And you have to do this for your antagonist too. You just have to. Because that makes for a deeper story and a better story when we know what is motivating this bad guy. Why is he doing what he is doing? I think the best example of that I ever did, what book was that? Oh, crapperoonie. I think it was Rowan's Lady. And my bad guy, I came this close to redeeming him. I really did. And then boop, pulled it back away from everybody. So, yeah, what makes them tick? Yes. Okay. Ashley asks, looking back, what are some things that you would change in your first novel after all these years of experience? Not a damn thing. That book is done. That book is done. That book is loved by lots of people. Um, I don't even know the lifetime, how many copies have been sold over years, but that was the one book that just set my career skyrocketing. Yes, my story is not like everybody else's. I have a Cinderella story. Um, but I would change nothing. I just wouldn't, because that book is done. All my books are done. I don't go back to change them. Um, my readers loved Layden's Daughter. They still do love Layden's Daughter. My writing has definitely improved over the years. I know it has. And that's not me being arrogant. That's just me being honest, because I made it a goal to have my writing get better. But nothing. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't. That book was for my mother. That book written from my heart. That book means more to me than I could ever explain to any of you. It's my brother. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hello, you're live and on the air with the Cheeky Wench. How can I help you?
It's your brother?
I know it's your brother. I'm doing live. Can I call you back?
Yeah.
You want to say hello to my author friends and readers?
Sure. Hello. Just so you know, my name is David. I am the absolute youngest kid at 49 years old.
Liar.
I'm so good looking.
That's true.
And I'm probably the best looking person in my family.
That is probably true as well.
And I never did anything wrong as a kid either.
Oh, never, never. You were an angel.
Yes, I never burned the house down, which would have been okay.
Oh, shut up.
Mom,
that was a long time ago. No, well, my brother is single, but he has a girlfriend who I just absolutely love. Love her, love her, love her. So everybody's saying hi, okay? But I'll call you back when I'm done, okay, baby brother?
All right, love you.
Love you too, honey. Bye-bye. Bye. There are people that I always take a phone call for, and my brother David's one of them. So is my dad. So is my brother Dan. No matter what I'm doing, I take phone calls. What the hell were we talking about? I didn't do his swoop. But no, Layden's Daughter, I wouldn't change anything. MT says the part I always fall short on is descriptions. Yes, the antagonist needs a personality, and even Kung Fu Thug number 2 needs a name. Exactly. For me, I would tell you that the best way to get better at descriptions is to read other authors in your genre and outside of your genre. Just read whatever you want to read. But you can make a scene like it was a dark and stormy night. You could change that, and you could still describe it. It was, the wind was howling through the trees and they were swaying and bending like soft willows. Okay? That sets the scene, right? But just read other authors and in other genres. Okay? See how they do it. Okay? Really successful authors. Read Nora Roberts. Read James Patterson. There's lots of really what's his name? The Red Painted House. John Grisham. Read Grisham. Okay? Read Ed McBain. Read Louis L'Amour. Oh my God, I love Louis L'Amour novels. Okay, but that's not the genre I write in. But I have learned a lot from him. I have learned a lot from reading other authors outside of my genre. Okay? And pay attention. And yes, you could take notes. Okay? Like my editor, Catherine Lynn Davis, awesome woman. She has the uncanny ability to explain a sunset with just a couple of sentences that you will just go, don't know how she does it. I think it's divine intervention. I think it's a gift from God. But you can write a sunset with streaks of, and just don't stick with red and orange and blue, right? Use another color for red, like crimson or pink or lavender or azure or robin's egg blue. Um, you could say it was like somebody dipped their fingers in different colors of paint and swiped the sky, right? Yes, words are definitely her paintbrush. Definitely her paintbrush. Paintbrush. Um, Great way to get a wide range of genres and styles of description writing. Exactly, it is. It is. Read other genres, read other authors outside of your genre. Oh, I love Louis L'Amour. I do. I do. I do. I do. Um, but study it. Okay? Study how I've just described something, right? Take notes. What words did they use to describe the heat? Did they just say it was hot? It was a hot, humid day? Well, it's boring as hell. How hot, how humid was it? Was it hotter than the hubs of hell and so humid that it felt like you were breathing through a wet wool blanket? That's far more descriptive, right? Far more descriptive. And it's more words, but it's not a ton of extra words, right? It's just a few extra words to set that scene and describe it and put your readers right there in the middle of that scene. Don't forget what things smelled like. A lot of people forget smells, okay? Um, let's say you're walking down New York City and the very, the croissant shop, the scent of the baking croissants lingered out and mixed with the defecation left on the sidewalk by the homeless people, right? You can do that. Violets, purples, various blues, whether it's foggy, cold, warm, rainy, it all helps. Yes, with describing that scene. Exactly. But don't forget smells and don't forget feelings. Um, Not just what that character is feeling, but maybe this character has a habit of this, like running their thumb or the sleeve of their shirt, right? Okay. Um, what do their clothes feel like? Are they itchy? Do they fit? Are they too big? Are they too small? That type of thing. Um, the timing of the story, the time of year, the time of day, the time of month, um, and what is happening around this character. Where is this character? Okay. Uh, the street smelled like a full litter pan in many ways. It looked like one too. Yeah, simple things like that. Jennifer asks, do you have any tips for the ones of us that write YA and not adult? Would your advice be the same? Exactly, it is the same. Because every reader, it doesn't matter what genre you're in, right? You want to feel like you're there in the middle of the damn story, like you're one of the let's say you're writing a scene in a bar, right? What if your reader wants to feel like they're ones sitting in the back booth just watching everything play out in front of them, okay? Or that watch a movie, okay? Um, that's probably one of the biggest and best compliments I get from my readers is that I set scenes and my readers will tell me it just played out like I was watching a movie. That's my intention. Okay. It could be a movie, it could be a long movie. It could be one that needs an intermission. But yeah, my advice is the same. Okay. Just because they're young adults don't mean that it does not mean that they don't want fabulous, beautiful prose. Okay. And you can write fabulous, beautiful prose in any genre and not have to use 10,000 words to get your point across. Okay. A couple of sentences. So I hope that helped, Jennifer. I really do. A scene mesh when Hawkeye was temporarily blind. Yes. The the sound of rain falling on the tent reminded it of steak cooking over a fire. Yes, exactly, Ruthie. I remember that. Um, yeah. It says she's done musky city smells, the smell of clothes or cars, their clothes if they're wet or if they're cold, if they got caught in bad weather. Exactly. Um, oh, Tech Writing did a series number on your writing style. That can happen. The only difference is that the younger readers have less graphic descriptions of sex or gore. Yep. If you can take the sex and the gore out of your novel and still have a great story, that's how I look at it. I heard someone fall in the mud. I think it was Frank. I loved MASH. Jennifer says, I have issues naming characters. I was always told that you shouldn't give a character a dated name, but I know old-fashioned names are also coming back into fashion. Genre driven. And you can name your characters whatever the hell you want to name them, Jennifer. There are no rules on that. Okay? No rules. Now, unless you're writing old, like Scottish historical, like I do, then you do have to, you wouldn't name a character set in 14th century Scotland Ned or Ted. Those names didn't exist back then. But if you're writing contemporary, it could be an old family name. You can name your characters whatever you want to name them. I say there are no rules on naming your characters if you're writing anything post 1900s. Okay? Just my thoughts. Yeah, you got to let your readers know what kind of mood character. Have they had a bad day? Are they frustrated? Do they get a flat tire? That's type of thing. It's all important. I found character names from my ancestry tree. That's awesome. To get my character names, there's a website I go to. I just Googled 14th century Scottish names for men and women. And I just picked from there. Yeah, you can pick names from your family tree. That's awesome. Ooh, how do you say that, Aurora? Ella Byrne. She's Irish in my newest story. Oh, go Wings. That's awesome. But yeah, name them whatever you want to. The story's yours. The characters are yours. Laura. Okay, Laura. Okay. But yeah, name them what you want to name them. Rule damned. Oh my gosh, it's 8:15. We've ran a little long. And I forgot swooping. I forgot swoop. I will get better at that, I promise. But I am going to run because I did not realize it was 8:45. And I'm going on lockdown tomorrow. And unless someone, wins the lottery or gives birth, I'm not talking to anybody. I keep a name bank. I see or hear a name, it like goes in the bank for later. Yeah. Yep. That works. So good, Diana. I'm really glad to hear that. That's okay. I love catching you online. You really help. Thank you. Well, you're very welcome, MT Decker. I love being here. I love helping in any way that I can. So don't forget to hit the like button or the share button because that helps our other algorithms. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you like what we talk about, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I go live. You probably heard it somewhere, but don't remember. Oh yeah, Bible names always work. That's true. That's true, Christina. Bible names will work. Anyway, I'm going to run. I had dinner. I don't think I've eaten since lunch. And I think I had a bagel for lunch, which was a late breakfast. So I really don't think I've eaten all day, except maybe a cookie. But I'm going to run. I just appreciate each and every one of you being here tonight. I really, truly do. It does my heart good. But I will definitely see you next week, next Wednesday. Hopefully there won't be any more storms. And I'm just really grateful for all of you. I really, truly am. You're all very welcome. I enjoy being here. I enjoy helping in any way that I can. I do want to get better at my live streams. I will have to figure out a better way to do a second monitor because that definitely did not work. Anywho, I love you all. I think you're all awesome. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your week, an awesome weekend. May your coffee cup be hot and full. May your muse sing to you sweetly, and may your underwear not read up the clackety ots. I love you all. Everybody have a great, great rest of your week and weekend. Bye bye.